98 degrees outside, but 8 degrees in here.
Was that song too short, or
Yeah,
am I imagining?
just
I wanted to hear more.
Me too.
All right, our next guest first made headlines last September. The youngest girl ever to pilot an airplane across the country. Last month, again, aviation history, flying across the Atlantic and touching down in 9 different countries. Remember, we're talking about a 12-year-old girl. Here's Vicki Van Meter. Have a seat. Look at all the medals in your...
Look at that.
Very good,
By the
Vicki.
time you get your license, that suit will be filled up.
Yeah.
Gee, how old were you when you started flying?
I was first 10 years old.
10 years, just a couple years ago.
Right, 2
Boy,
years
you've made
ago.
incredible strides, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I've taken it seriously, so.
I guess.
It's in your genes in a way, though, right? Your dad's an air traffic controller. And...
Well, actually, my grandpa was an air traffic controller, but my dad used to fly, but he doesn't fly anymore, so it was like I wasn't flying with him or anything like that.
So where's home?
I live in Meadville, Pennsylvania.
Meadville, Pennsylvania. That's near Pittsburgh?
Well, it's 90 miles north of Pittsburgh and 30 miles south of Erie.
And do they have an airport there in Meadville?
Right, they've got a really small airport, so
Yeah.
I'd practice there.
So where did the desire to become a pilot come from?
Well, we just drove up to our airport because they were adding on a new terminal building, and there was a sign-up sheet for people who wanted to go flying. So I've always wanted to become an astronaut. My dad said, if you want to become an astronaut, you might as well see what it's like up in a small airplane, you know, like a little cabin. So I said, sure. So then he signed me up for sort of like a ride or something like that. So then I got interested in it.
But the funny thing is that she has a great fear, and that fear is?
Of heights. So,
You're afraid of heights.
Don't
Yeah,
you
well-
think that's a little strange?
no, well, it affects me when I'm like up on the Empire State Building, something like that. But when you're in like a plane, it doesn't affect
confined
me.
area.
Right, it doesn't affect me, so I'm in control.
Now, you're always up with somebody, right? Because you
Right.
don't have a license and can't get one for another 4 years.
Right, well, I have to have an instructor inside the airplane, but I'm doing all the flying and
Yeah, but how do we
navigation.
know
She's a learner's
that?
permit.
How do we know that?
Well, I took
How
ground
do we know this
school.
isn't one big hoax?
Because I took ground school and I passed the test. I have all the qualifications, and I've taken up many reporters and people from people from different magazines, and so they can. They said if anyone has any doubts, give them my number. So I'll give you their number, and you can call them.
these
We don't
pictures
doubt it.
came across the AP wire, and there you are inspecting your plane.
Right.
Like a good pilot overlooking the plane every time you go up,
Now,
right?
what are you
Right.
looking for there? Dust, holes, what?
It looks like I'm very serious.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking to make sure like no bird's nests are in there.
Is that a bottle of Windex in your hand?
No.
All right, what else we have?
There
you
she was
are
in the cockpit.
In the cockpit
Yeah.
with your, I guess that's your instructor?
Right, that's my instructor, Kurt Arnspiger, and I'm just waving goodbye to some of the people there.
So now, what was it like to fly across the country?
Across the country, it was a lot. It was hard, and I got to see a lot of different like landforms that I'd been studying in school and things like that. So that was really interesting.
So
But-
sometimes you land by instrument, sometimes you land by sight. Depends on where you are and what kind of facility they have.
right, it depends on the weather.
You can land at night?
Oh yeah, right.
Really?
Yes, Buttercup head.
And what about going over water? Such a big ocean. You look down, nothing but water.
Right. Well, it was pretty. It got like really like sort of a little boring because you're just sitting there, and for the whole trip it's just like water. And
How
so,
long did it take?
Well, the trip took across the ocean. It took about 16 hours. So going, I started from Augusta, Maine, and then I went. My destination was Frankfurt, Germany, but the whole Atlantic crossing only took 16 hours. So that's still pretty long.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Sure. And were the crowds wildly cheering when you put down?
Yeah, some places. So that was really
Good.
neat.
Word got to the town that you were coming?
Right. Well, in Greenland, a lot of like school kids came out,
Yeah?
and a lot of Inuit children came out. So that was really neat.
What kind of
So,
children?
Inuits, like
I bet-
Eskimos, and so
Local
they were
tribes
like
people.
chanting "Vicky, Vicky," and
Oh,
they
that's
had like
great.
signs. So
Really?
it was really funny.
I never had an Inuit crowd cheer me for anything. Now, what is the reaction from especially the boys in your class? Do they look upon you with awe?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
I mean, you can fly a plane and those dopes can't.
They're still riding two-wheelers.
Yeah. You think they're hot stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how they feel about that, but they're really nice, my friends. So they came out to the airport to see me off, and so,
They're proud of you.
yeah,
That's
sounds
nice.
great.
So what's your
Yeah.
ambition then with all of this flying?
Astronaut.
Right, to become
Astronaut?
an astronaut or work for NASA someday. So
And
I heard
also-
she wants to be one of the first people to ever walk on Mars.
That's what I
right?
heard.
yeah,
too.
hopefully. So
Yeah.
that's going to be really exciting. So.
And now you're going down to the Pentagon in August?
Right. Well, a couple exciting things this summer. The Pentagon invited me. The Naval Academy is going to fly me out to an aircraft carrier in August. So I'm going to be like a part of their night operations and see what they do at night. So that's going to be really exciting. And also, I'm going to be pitching for the first pitch at the Cleveland Indians game. So they're close by.
Hey,
So that's going to be
hey,
fun.
your summer is planned.
Isn't she nice?
She gives you hope for the future.
I was going to say, does this kid restore your hope in the future or not? Absolutely. Thank you very much,
thanks.
Vicki, for
Really
coming.
nice to meet you, Vicki. All the
Good luck
best to
to you.
you.
Right back with Robin Strasser. One Life to Live. Dorian Laws in a moment.
Monday on Live, Ann Jillian.